Good evening, Speed Gaming. Welcome to another installment of A Link to the Past Randomizer. I am Deep Fried 87, joined here in the booth by MindDM.
Hey, Deep Fried, I feel like it's been a hot couple of weeks since we got to do this, and since we haven't had a scene change yet, I'm not entirely sure they can hear us out in chat land, but I'm sure everybody will pipe up if they can. It'll be fine, right?
Oh yeah, no, this is fine. This is fine. Can y'all hear us? Question mark. Dot dot dot. They can hear us. This is good.
Okay, well, that's all I need to know. The setup helper should be changing the scene here, hopefully any minute now. And meanwhile, we've got another one of these Week 4 in Flukies matchups. This is the Open League. We have Aurora Snurd for Team More Than Just Another Alt, and Talon116 for Team Hera Basement Dwellers. Looks like we're also going to need a little syncage once the setup helper is good and ready, but there we go, there's our scene change. We like those. Those are nice.
Yes, indeed.
Looks like Talon is going to get a Tier 1 triple out of that single rupees. That is not anybody's idea of a good way to get 20 bucks. We're going to have to look for an alternative source of cash.
Yeah, that is, you get 20 bucks faster on a street corner than doing that.
There are 5 rupees in each of the 4 quadrants of Thieves Town if it really comes to that.
Yeah, that is also painful, but hopefully
or,
we
you could just be Snurd and pull 20 bucks out of Meyer Shack and it'll be fine.
Yeah, of course.
And here is our sync. Talon should start moving again here shortly. Perfect, now we're all synced up and good to go. Get a little 50-50 bomb farming there. Perfect luck on the first one. Not going to go look at the second one. We've seen a lot of people going and pulling that bottom left-hand bush for the spot at the second bomb, just in case, and sometimes it doesn't really work out. I've seen a couple of games where people had to dive in and out of the brewery a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, to get a bomb. It was not so great for them.
Yes, indeed. And as it's not showing up here, the current division standings here, this is the Thieves Town division, More Than Just an All, they're all sitting at 5-2, and the Hera Basement Dwellers sitting at 2-5. So definitely Basement Dwellers going to be trying to get out of the basement here and be able to play some catch up, while More Than Just Another Alt trying to keep in the lead. So this could be a big pivotal point for Basement Dwellers in the season.
Now, you are one of the members of More Than Just Another Alt, so please don't think that I'm trying to rag on you personally here, but I believe that Snurd is reasonably said to be the strongest runner on your team. And I don't want Hera Basement Dwellers to think that I'm trying to rag on either of their other members either, but I think Talon is probably the strongest runner on their team. So we've got a real match of strength versus strength here. Talon enjoys inverted quite a bit, and Snurd's been around the invitational block for a little while, and now has joined your team back down in open. So we got a lot of firepower here in this one.
Yeah, this match was kind of set up intentionally, where we were putting strongest against strongest. This was a tactical move. If I don't know if on both of our parts, but definitely on our part, for the Dweller to take on the Dwellers and give us the best chance to come out 2-0 on the week.
Now I say all of that, but it's Nux of the Hera Basement Dwellers, who I believe 2 years ago made it to the semifinals of Challenge Cup.
This is true. Nux, definitely a strong player as well. I had my match with Nux earlier in the week, and our old nemesis. Well, hilariously, as the Hera Basement Dwellers did not check their check their basement, because that is where go mode for the seed was. So a little irony in that.
Reminds me of a seed that I played last season against Risky and Terrible Gambits, where, well, one of their Risky and Terrible Gambits is diving into mire and finding something, and, well, if they'd done that, I would have been absolutely smoked. So, sometimes you just don't live up to your team name, and it comes back and bites you, so respect your own meme, I guess, is the upshot of that.
Respect your own meme. I like that. I like that.
Meanwhile, we've got Snurd up here making some checks in Skull Woods. Talon has seen Hype Cave. There was a key of some provenance in there, but I don't remember what it was. Hyrule Castle, maybe?
I believe so.
Ooh, Snurd having a bit of an adventure there, heading for the Vanilla Big Key location in Skull Woods. Going to take the quick death, get the room reset, try it again.
Gil correcting us, it wasn't the Hyrule Castle, it was Castle Tower.
Ah, Castle Tower key. Okay. It's got castle in there, I was close.
Yep, just off by a couple floors. And in this mode, well, I think it's a few more. It's more of a paradox than a paradox cave.
There is certainly a bit of additional distance between the castle and the tower than one might normally expect.
So we've cleaned out a lot of the early progression here and haven't found much of anything. I would be suspecting here Snurd is going to be dropping down on the left side to finish clearing and doing a save and quit. So. Be real curious to see where people go next after this, because it's been fairly dry. We getting money and going to pod. We dip in the ledge. We going up for the 2 in logic checks in Super Bunny. Like, kind of dry. Oh no.
And 1 in logic check for currently bomb only. Oh, never mind. We got a fire rod. Now we just need to find some magic for it. That's a whole lot better than bomb only ball and chain guards in Castle Tower.
That does open up under the bridge as well.
One of those logical checks that nobody really wants to have to walk to, but sometimes the game just puts what you need there and you don't get a choice. I'm glad Talon saw whatever that was, because I sure didn't.
Me neither.
There was also a convenient ice palace small on Johnny Two Bombs there in Tribe Cave.
That was a Hyrule Castle in Hype Cave, along with a pod small. So that's 2 pod smalls. So I don't know if Snurd has done. What are we checking here? Are we going to?
Stumpy.
This looks like it's Stumpy, and then probably if I know a Snurd, there's going to be some money farm here to make sure with 2 pod smalls you can get an awful lot. So.
Oh, that bomb strat from Talon was pretty good there.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. That was pretty good. No, Will. What are we thinking, Brain? Chat making a classic cartoon reference.
Naturally. Ooh, Talon going to have to be a little careful here. Down to 1 heart, needs to dodge this firebar and this beetle. And the money printing not really on offer, it's just going to be the play to pod.
Nope, going back, had this immediate regret realization that I do not have enough cash. So, up the mountain to see if we can get more cash. Narf indeed.
See, and this is one of the reasons why I enjoy Inverted so much as a mode, because it's the one time that I get to show off with a trick that people think is difficult, but it's not really. Like, 99 archery is not as difficult as people think it is.
No, it's really not. Ooh, okay. Do we have enough fire rod shots for this? Probably.
Yeah, we've got
Don't
2
miss.
fire rod shots to get through the ball and chain guard anyway. Then just don't miss more than, oh, ooh, yeah, we're taking that every time.
Super convenient.
Now we can just make sure we've got 1 rod shot to each of them. The result not so great, and we'll do a little out of logic nonsense up here, but that's fine too.
Everyone loves a little out of logic nonsense. That'll come in handy later for Sick Kid. It's a special treat we're saving for later.
Depending on how Dances with Lionels goes, we may be spending it early. Talon, meanwhile, doing something that a lot of people aren't really a fan of, and doing the old man rescue in Inverted Sands, the mirror.
I mean, that does get you a nice save and quit point to be able to check, so. And we got Ether to get in the front door, but likely not necessary. And asking in chat, what is the influ keys setting? Influ keys is inverted key sanity with a starting flute that works in the dark world.
Oh look, Ether.
And the Hera Basement key.
Never.
Hashtag foreshadowing.
Now, what that play didn't do was provide Snurd with pod money, so we're going to go do a little cash money printing at the archery game anyway.
Arrow game go burr. Arrow game no go burr. There is going to be there's going to be a team practice called over this one.
That was more burr, as in there was no fire there at all, and I'm cold now.
Okay, now get out of here. We'll see if Talon opts to copy Snurd's route here and clean up. Yep, absolutely.
Just go ahead, grab the thing now, make life a little easier later.
Very much so. So we've got 3 pod smalls so far, I believe. So I would wager a guess that one of the other, like, bad in logic checks is going to be your 4th. And I'm expecting to see something in the back of pod here.
Seems fairly likely, doesn't it? Or pod is just going to do pod things, and one of the accessible checks on one key is going to give us pod 4.
Yes, this could very much well be that.
Small key to this dungeon, a classic pod and TR story.
Oh, almost all the fire now.
Which happily makes that bottle logical, so now you can be interested in what the small tile will give you later.
Oh, there was an old man pod small. Okay, very cool.
Looks like we're going to get a little illogical mimic removal here.
One way or another. Going to be a clip.
I can't do this the snazzy fast way, so I'd be burning that red goo right here.
Oh, absolutely. Even if I can't do it well, so it's still faster. Just burn the goo. Oh no. Oh, what big key do we have here? If this is a pod dig, this could be a big difference maker. No, it's the desert dig.
Desert big. Okay, so we don't know whether that's been into a crystal yet, and we don't have the book to get in anyway, so it's probably not that interesting to us just yet. Could be one of those fancy things for later, though. Pyramid Ledge is one of those checks that's just not super convenient and inverted for some reason.
No, only if you've got mirror and you're doing it with light world and you're checking front of castle, that's about the best time usually to pick it up. Did you happen to see that small key on Snurd's side on the from that mimic clip?
No.
That was a swamp small.
Ooh, okay.
So spicy there for bow-locked swamp. Okay, game. Big key of this dungeon.
Next thing you know, we'll be finding the bow of this dungeon.
Samaria. And a sword. Wow, Pod has got the goods.
Pod's got the goods that say go to Turtle Rock, apparently.
Yeah, because that ether as well, that's the front fully clearable. And Snurd doing Snurd things, clearing harmless Hellway early. And burning that red goo to be able to make a bomb jump possible.
So we've seen both of the 6 key locked non-boss checks now. Interesting.
Snurd, you have a sword. You have a sword. What are you doing?
Leaving, apparently. When you run out of checks you can make, it makes a lot of sense, of course, but leaving. Talon's going to give us the potion camera unlock version of this trick.
Green Pendant Thieves Town. So we've got 2 of our 3 pendant knowledges. Oh boy, we're about to go see a 4-heart fighter sword hammer moth here, aren't we?
Certainly could be. The kind of thing that you normally see in something like Ambrosia, with that starting sword. Just the game says, hey, here's a fire rod, go do 3-heart mothula, it'll be fine, right?
This is fine.
Also the sort of thing that you might see a little more regularly in something like Spoiler or Pilot Spoiler.
Also very true.
Rest in peace, Pilot Spoiler, you were a lot of fun last season.
Well, maybe it's a zombie and it'll come back next year.
Talon making sure to get all the money there.
Yes, indeed.
Unbeknownst to him, he's going to have plenty right now.
Yep. One hammer hit. 2. Ooh, boy. Wow. Nicely done.
I am not sure how Snurd did not get hit there, but nice fight.
Well, it certainly wasn't smart luck. So this is just going to be half magic or master sword now that that fight's been done, right? No, Turtle Rock Small. Interesting.
The game does seem to be screaming that dungeon right now. Oh, and Talon is not landing this bomb jump. Decides that discretion is in fact the better part of valor when it is an out-of-logic check anyway, and is heading on to 4. Alright, where are we going from 4, Talon? Are we gonna buy a potion? I don't hate that.
Potion, are we going to see an out-of-logic ice? Yeah, that is very bad for Talon with Hammer being in there, so that's gonna be quite a while till he gets back to that.
sometimes the really odd question in Rando is what last location hurts you less? And sometimes you think, man, going without the hammer, that could be really punishing. But if it drives Talon into a play that causes him to find something that's otherwise off the path, you never know. It could come back and work in his favor somehow.
This is very true. Rando does have a sick, twisted way of doing that. It is going to make Talon's fight here even harder with 3 heart, not 4, because that was the other item in the Dark Maze, and no hammer for Fighter Sword. This is... We'll see how many cool points are acquired on the Hera Basement Dwellers side.
And this is the kind of fight where, unless my pilot is the one telling me you have to do this, it's the 100% required next logical piece of progression, I'm not doing this right now. I refuse.
Agreed. 100%. Okay, game. So we're going to Laser Bridge now, right? Because that was the TR big over on Firelock's side. And while I agree that scared money don't make money, stupid money don't make money neither. Not saying this play is stupid, but this is one of the most challenging fights in all of Rando.
Going to blue back up and get that fire rod back out, it's a whole lot more damage than that fighter sword's going to do.
Very true. Yeah, very smart kill here with the blue goo. That's I had forgotten that was the case, and that is what we like to call smart money.
So with that, Talon evens our crystal count up between the runners. It's nice to have a crystal on the board before 30 minutes.
Especially in inverted keys. So yeah, this is going to be a logical laser bridge here. Thank you. Yes, we have Chain Chomps with a TR small, giving us our 3rd Turtle Rock small.
Deep Fried, this is a bit of a classic inverted situation where you're running around past the Lionels, fighting them off, etc., 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 on 3 and 4 hearts, and the game just doesn't give you anything to work with.
Yep. One of the 2 classic ways of this ending up happening. The other being, here's Mitz and Moon Pearl right in Thieves Town. Here's the whole game. Go figure it out.
Yeah, it just becomes functionally a regular open seed where, alright, well, now I'm going to spend minutes 5 through 25 hoovering up everything in the light overworld, and then I'm going to be on 12 hearts red mail with Master or Tempered Sword and half magic fire rod, and I have literally everything except I don't have any of the keys that I need to beat the game. Thanks, game. Now I'm going to start diving dungeons.
Yep. Sounds about right. I'm glad Snurd got this style of seed instead of me. Not gonna lie.
Dances with Lionel's not exactly my forte either.
Dances with Lionels. Wasn't that a Kevin Costner movie?
Yes.
Okay, Red Mail. That's funny. Instead of just saying, you know what, let's take the death and reset this. It's gonna be real funny if we find an ice rod here on Laser Bridge, because that's gonna be not pleasant. Well, Hammer Trinex isn't the worst, but that's gonna be really not the best for Talon, because I don't think you can do it on Fighter Sword.
On Fighter Sword, I think you need technically 3 magic extensions if you're perfect. Good luck being perfect with the Fighter Sword on Trinex.
Yeah. And it seems that in team practice after the archery game, we need to add laser skips.
What, not Laser Buffet?
I believe he pronounces it Laser Buffet. So does that hook shot actually get us anything yet? We don't have a moon.
Yes, because we have the mirror, right? Did we not? No, we didn't get a mirror.
No
You
mirror,
said we
no
had access
pearl.
to Laser Bridge, and my first thought was, oh, we have a mirror now. We'll just mirror onto Laser Bridge. No, okay. I was thinking because we could just mirror into the back of Hookshot Cave, even though we don't have glove. Which would be a perfectly acceptable use of the mirror if, you know, if we had that sort of access, but we don't. It helps with movement. It does do that.
Very much so. Oh, Quake
If you
gets...
use
Oh,
it.
that's true. Quake was our Misery Mire medallion.
Oh, okay.
So with that hook shot, that is Mire access.
There's another one of those fun places you want to go on 3 or 4 hearts.
Yep. So Snurd, seeing that, now knows the back of Pod is in logic and where that logic is. So...
Smart little delay there by Talon pulling out the but less good not using the rest of the magic there for the Cane of Samaria, trying to bomb instead, and not enough time to get those pegs to change.
Yeah, that's rough, buddy. This has been definitely a seed of needing to get executed.
I'm not sure what the timing on this is going to look like. Like that. That'll work.
So Snurd going to the ledge, going to get that desert big before heading to Mire. Doesn't want to leave any stone unturned here. Ooh, that was close in
And
the...
Talon is having a substantial adventure here, trying to find a path that gets through and is not going to manage it.
And is also out of magic.
So we're going to see something you normally only see in an entrance randomizer, that bomb jump rail clip.
Yeah, this is a rough fight here for the Pokies. Fighter Sword.
And what fiendish developer decided that they should get faster as they lost more of their legs?
I believe his name's Yamamoto, but I'm not 100% on that.
Is that
Big
the pod big in Spike
Swamp.
Chest?
That was the
Swamp.
swamp
Oh.
big.
Okay. Another one of those things that doesn't do us any good yet.
Well, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Very true. Meanwhile, Talon trying to get the mini helmet out of the way on I Bridge has discovered why it's I Bridge.
Yeah, this is rough. It's because this is needed apparently, because I don't think there's anything else left but Myers. So Talon's got to make it to Laser Bridge here.
And so far, Myers not really doing a whole lot. We have a big key of questionable utility and a dungeon item that we really don't care about.
This is true. And I very much suspect that we're going to see both checks here on the left. I would be very surprised if, with how little we have, that even out of logic, if Snurd skips. Yeah.
And now these lasers are just adding insult to injury for Talon over here. This is honestly, as somebody who's done this, rough.
It's the point, like 37 minutes in, he's still got 3 hearts. Snurd's on 4 because of Pod Dark Maze. And honestly, that 4th heart has made a big difference. Snurd has made it to 1 heart several times, so that... It doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's adding a third of your health on top again, it really can make the difference.
Ah, he's going to bait the mini Helma up. Okay. Put down a Samaria block. You almost got him off that. There we go. Now we can just walk through and go take safety door. I guarantee you, his one thought is, please, just no shenanigans, just let me make it to the stinking safety door. Woo, okay.
Ooh, that was wow. Made it. We're there.
Yeah, that Samaria block thing, that would have been good before. But okay, at least it worked now.
And there's our Moon Pearl. Back to the mountain we go.
Deep fried the seed is dumb.
Yeah, this is a doozy, that is for certain.
Because now we nominally have light world access, but there's literally only one place we can go with it.
Yeah, Hera Basement.
Out of logic, Hera Basement. Until we get some more pod smalls.
Was that 5 locked? I thought that was only 4 locked.
Wasn't the hammer in Dark Maze?
Oh, I sit corrected. You are very much correct. The hammer. I forgot the hammer portion of that.
100% required to reach Tower of Hera in inverted. Now, it's entirely possible that we're about to make 7 chucks in Paradox Cave here, and 2 of them pod smalls, and then everything's in logic and you don't have to worry about it.
Nah, but one of them is the glove, and Talon here, I bet, is feeling behind with all of that, is going to go and, I don't know, probably save Scum here, but going back for the lava chest in hopes that this is going to be progression. And a bow out of Paradox 5, too, so... definitely useful.
Right. That'll take care of some dungeons, eventually. And no joy for Talon in the Vanilla Big Key location of Turtle Rock. Just something.
Okay, that's funny, game. That's real funny. And that's actually really unfortunate. Well, I don't know, because that's going to give Mitz access, because it's not 6 pod smalls, so... yeah, we'll see when we come back for that hammer. Where is Talon off to now?
I think he's forgotten that he has no glove, and he's about to be very sad when he encounters the rock at Brookshot Cave. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep, you are very correct.
He will have a glove soon, but not yet.
Missing the bread pot and going classic.
Sometimes you just go with the version of the tech that's comfortable to you.
Billy Pot, thank you. That was the name. And Troll Dorm gonna troll.
There, the hammerhead snurd needed revenge on the worm, and
Nice Master Sword. How the worm has turned.
Also, the value of another crystal on the board for more than yet another alt. More than just another alt, yet another alt. Why is your team's name so difficult, Deep Fried?
Because there's a typo in it. It should say more than just another alt. We should really consult the league on that one. Yeah.
Looks like Talon's ready to make the fire-locked checks here. And Snurd is going to respect the basement.
Oh yeah, the level of crap that he would have gotten if he did not respect the basement. It's just junk this time because we've checked it early, but now at least we know, and there's no, I believe there's one commentator that calls it mental damage.
Especially suffered when you have to go and make an entire mountain climb and loop all the way around just to get back to Tower of Hera. It's some of the worst checks in the entirety of Inverted, especially if you've already cleaned out everything else in the area and you can't pair it up anymore.
Yep. Okay, so now we're going to see the Out-of-Logic Mimic Cave. And now we can go to the Light World and play the video game.
Well, ha and zaw.
Talon's skipping Spike for the moment and opting, because I don't know if 3-heart Spike is even log. I don't know how.
It is logical, it is possible, you will die immediately after opening the chest. Alternatively, you can get yourself bounced on like that with a Stelkos hit for half a heart of damage instead to ensure that you still have half heart left over.
Yeah, that was a very convenient heart drop from that Stalfos, too. Oh boy, that Hera Big is just going to be a pain of a fetch quest here in Blindside. Convenient powder in CAC.
The sort of thing where you probably just say, I'm waiting until I find the book, and otherwise that check is dead to me as anything other than a last location.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
It just takes too long to get to, especially walking. puddle turns into a big key to Green Pendant Thieves Town. Okay.
We'll see if that turns into something, because goodness knows. We have no idea if that's going to even be useful or not, and when people will get back to it.
In Flute Keys, it's really easy to get there off of any save and quit, because a Flute to 3 drops you right on top of it.
This is very true. Getting to Thieves Town is very quick in Flukies.
That really convenient powder yields a little bit of time loss and $20. We'll see if Talon winds up giving that time back later.
That powder is probably one of the nicest safeties we could find at this point, still on 5 hearts. I mean, red mail, but still, we are hurting on the health department.
We'll get a blind run of the race game here. It's key sanity, entirely possible between big keys, small keys, remaining Y items, maybe another sword, some hard containers. There are a lot of things that could be here that Snurd would just say yes to. So, yeah, just go have a look-see, see what it is.
Small key, absolutely. Oh, that's mean.
Not really the kind of thing you're going to go running right back for at this point, but it's going to help Talon more, if anything, having spent that key on Lava Chest and not having save scummed it.
Very true. Had to be out there in the world somewhere. And Snurd says 5 hearts. I'll take a 6th. Yeah, sure. Ooh, Talon is going right back for Hookshot Cave with those gloves. I don't think we've seen this. One blue goo. No scotch. No beer.
You have the glove, you flute to 2, and you check catfish. Speaking of beer, that's a bit of a beer maximum for this mode.
Yeah, catfish is not bad in this mode at all. Well, not bad to get to. Still bad to... Oh, that's mean. That was a book in Agina, because you try to stay away from desert till you get that book. And with glove, book, and big key, I am be very surprised if we don't just see a Desert Palace clear here over on Snurd's side.
TT small? Nice to have.
Gotta have at least one. Well, don't gotta, but nice to have at least one.
Not a whole lot going on in this desert palace so far.
No, but with 2 of the 3 pendants accounted for, it's likely going to be it's either going to be a crystal or our knowledge. So, like the play either way. And I don't know if we've seen this on Snurd's side over up in to check out Lost Woods because she opted to go down. So yeah, nothing much up here. So not yet. Anyway, we'll see if Lumberjack is required.
It's fine if there's nothing there and you never go there, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Almost a clean one.
We have a small key hiding there on Lumberjack Ledge, says Talon. You know it's not going to be a castle tower small.
This is true, and we know it's not the Swamp Small or the Turtle Rock 4, so I don't know if there's any small keys that are going to hard require at this point, unless it is something like Desert Small for a required item on the right side.
There's the half magic in a bit of an inconvenient spot.
Okay, so that is 2/3 of the way to the proclaimed best item in the game. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I have no idea what you're talking about, my DM.
Skullwood Small to put that moth kill closer to in logic? And I did like how Snurd has finally reached that point of saying, I'm running around in the light world now, I don't really need more hearts that badly, this is a heart piece I can skip.
Yeah, 7 red, you're feeling a lot more comfy than back when you had 3. Flippers are nice. That's logical ice.
Right before you get into the area where you were probably going to start fake flippering anyway, now you can just real flipper.
When you have flippers, fake flipper works 100% of the time.
Shocking, I know. It seems like Talon here may be playing toward, I have to imagine that I'm behind given some of the in-dungeon shenanigans that have been going on my end. I'm going to do a check that people don't really like because it's kind of slow, and maybe I'm lucky and my opponent hasn't done it, and it has something.
Yeah, very much so, and I can understand the thinking and the logic behind it. Yeah, we'll take a pit stop for silvers. Absolutely worth it.
100% of the time.
And the waterfall fairy being extra generous, giving us blue goo this seed.
Nice to have while you're there. Probably not something that you're ever going back to.
Yeah. And now we can also save magic on Cold Stare with the bombos. Makes our life a little easier on the fight. And Scamfish only a 40% loss today.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, the Ice Palace play here makes a lot of sense on Snurd's side. It is a fully clearable Crystal Dungeon. You go do it.
The larger question will probably be when Talon reaches that point, what happens if the hammer is not in inventory yet? Do you dive anyway? Because sometimes the hammer's just an Ice Palace and it's pretty terrible when it is.
This is true. I mean, Hammer being 6 key locked in pod after you've cleared out almost everything else is, I think, almost worse than Ice Palace, but at this point, it's really hard to say.
Ah, that was in fact Sankard. In Cave 45.
Nice to grab. Putting Talon a little more comfy at 6 red. Makes life, despite the fact you've already done most of the hard stuff, at least a little more convenient. And Snurd with the key is opting to get Iced Tea first. That is definitely required. That is our Meyer Big in Freezor. Ooh. And the GT Big. Back-to-back required big keys.
Fancy that. Just go to Ice Palace and find your big keys, of all things. Puff's getting a little out of control here for Snurd.
Yeah. Fortunately, that red male putting in some work.
I'll admit I more than half expected another big key there.
And another pod small. Oh boy, that hammer logically is so buried.
It really is.
So at this point, what do we need for no mode? Because I don't think we have all the dungeon information yet. So... And looks like Aurora is going to go clean up North Light World here. There's just the checks are getting worse and worse here on Talen's side, especially not having that hammer and Light World access being only with the mitts. Now it's a little less punishing in inverted because you do have the Ice Palace entrance, the Mire entrance, and the Thieves entrance that at Village Outcast, but still, it's not having that is gonna start showing itself more and more here.
Not just being able to enter the Dark World at 4 is sometimes a bit of a conundrum.
Or 5.
Yeah, this Flute to 6 is going to land Talon on that book, though.
And Talon has finally reached the point in health that said, 7, I don't need to go grab that heart.
Checkerboard Cave in the grand scheme of things is not really all that quick of a check, especially when you can't block delete with the mirror.
Yeah. When, you know, you're on 4 or 5 hearts, it's worth it. 7 hearts, maybe not so much.
Aurora is going to be rewarded with the Northern Light World Ultimate Prize here, that half magic.
That was really well done. I really appreciate that pun.
It's so natural to me, I didn't even notice I did it.
Well, we don't want to Borealis everybody else with more puns, so we'll just leave it at that. And still with no mirror, going into the front of the castle, this is going to be a definitely a longer. We'll see if the Death Warp happens or quite what the game plan is here.
That might depend on where Snurd wants to go next, because if it's not somewhere close to here, when you have that out of logic hammer, it's really easy to have your pick of all sorts of entrance points to the light world, and you could just pop the save and quit and flute to wherever you're going and solve the problem.
This is true, but did not check Dark Cross, so we'll be leaving it behind, because Talon had checked it, I believe, coming from the back, and Aurora opted to just go out through the front. We'll see if it's a moot point if there's just a mirror right here. Nope, couldn't do it. Tried.
Many convenient uses of those silver arrows. Completely overwhelming Ball and Chain Guard.
Yep. One shot, one kill.
Also does quite a number on the Lammolas, as Talon is showing us.
And now everyone's favorite hour and 13-minute Saha check.
In fairness to that, it's inverted, so it's not a Spear 1 location.
Ye old desert small.
Oh, good. A desert small, just what everyone always wanted.
That might be what Aurora was waiting for to head back to the Mire area now that Mire is clearable. Oh, and Talon saying, well, time to go do Green Pendant Thieves. This may pay out. We are running out of locations that things can be.
Meanwhile, Aurora into Eastern Palace, and one of those places where it seems like nobody really wants to go, whether it's inverted or not.
Yeah, and Eastern Palace is very polarizing. You love it or you hate it.
On both sides. Still not changing anything. Talon, my friend, what was that? I don't want anything to do with these spikes. I'm gonna go touch the wall.
That's a choice.
It is a choice.
Oh my god, Eastern Big Key in Eastern. Are you kidding me?
Okay, that's disgusting.
And Talon getting a second sword in Maiden Cell.
Certainly not going to turn down more offensive firepower here.
Yeah,
Although
especially
one
with
sword,
how...
two sword, however many, blind doesn't care.
This is true. One sword, two sword, blue sword, whatever you got.
Castle Tower Small Key and the Vanilla Big Key location of Eastern Palace. Except it wasn't the Vanilla Big Key location of Eastern Palace today. That was in Compass Chest, LOL. Because this game has jokes.
Everybody funny. Now you funny too. And that Skull Woods Big that was yielded out of Purple Chest is nothing of importance.
The cape coming off of the Armos Knights along with the crystal. The crystal, I think, is substantially more interesting at this point. Our
Yeah, I
runners
believe...
have been by that, and I don't think it was anything.
This looks to be getting the hook shot out. Is this going to be Ether Tab and Hera Big Chest? And maybe Lava Bridge?
Did Snurd ever come back up for Hookshot Cave? There may be a
Nope.
little more density up here than we're thinking about.
Yeah, no, I had forgotten. Oh, and Spike Cave, everyone's favorite. That's true. That cave does just put Spike Cave in logic. Oh my god, the Ice Rod and Spike Cave.
Cape to make the ice rod logical. This is quality.
So at this point, I believe we are in mirror go mode. Because I did a quick peek on the trackers, and it does look like Meyer is our last pendant. So it is our last crystal is going to be Swamp. And this is a 7 crystals to get into GT's type of seed, so we will need that mirror.
And at the moment, it just is not forthcoming.
So to beat Trinex, we do have to go the long way here.
And I believe we've seen all of the TR smalls at this point.
Yep, that last TR small was on a race game, so Aurora will be checking Lava Chest.
And that means that Trinex could just be holding the mirror, which is amusing.
Yeah.
Nice bits of logical nonsense. Talon not having that hammer had the death warp because it was still going to be faster to take the death warp and walk to the eastern area than any other way.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, you could flute 8 and get in at the portal at Ice Palace, but still, that requires a lot of swimming and walking on shallow water and all sorts of things that you don't really want to do.
Yeah. And we just have a 5 rupees on green pendant, so unfortunately beating blind not paying out.
Best thing Talon got in there by far, it seems like, is that sword that it doesn't seem like Aurora is ever going to get to. Unless this mirror is well and truly buried.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would ever give Aurora that would be... I don't know if mirror can be on head. It would have to be... We'd have to find a few more things before that's possible. Or if we find the Thieves Town small and mirror is in the Thieves big. Which is just a disgusting thought.
There is still that Hera big outstanding, but we are in a position where it's still illogical.
Yeah. Logically, 6 key locked hammers are trolly, to say the least.
It tells you a lot about where you probably shouldn't be looking for your logic, but if you'd like to short-circuit things, it's not necessarily the most helpful thing in the world.
And Talon getting the comedy of that French vanilla Eastern tea.
A map to a dungeon that's Nerd beat long ago on Trinex.
Yep, and we've got Ether Tab and Hera Big coming in. And if it's not there, yes, I'm trying to think what we still have left. Right Side Desert, Meyer Big and Vidi.
What I'm hearing is not a whole lot. Which shouldn't really be surprising at an hour and 26 minutes in.
Yeah, this is true. A question in chats: have the Smiths been checked for mirror? Yes, Talon has done the Smith chain, and the only thing to come from the Smith chain was the
Skullwood's big key on purple chest.
Yup, and that which led to nothing, unfortunately. So, oh, we do have hammer pegs, which are out of logic but doable. Can Mirror be Pyramid Fairy? I don't know what the 5/6s are. It looks like Eastern and Hera, so yes, yeah, I think it can be. We could be Big Bomb. Not logically, but it could be.
After all the strange goings on, it looks like we're going to sync back up with a check of Right Side Desert.
Yeah, I mean, this is very in logic. Oh, that's funny game. Well, at least we got boots. Why not logically was asked in chat, and that is because the hammer was 6 key locked in pod, and we have not seen 6 small keys yet.
Looks like Talon may still be looking for a little map knowledge here, but that one's not going to help. And here are those hammer pegs that you were talking about. Snurd gets to do them with the boots. It always feels better than not.
Very much so.
Rock's not yielding anything interesting. King's Tomb.
Also not yielding anything interesting.
Yeah, okay, game. We are in a bit of a tight spot here. Talon's going to turn the mushroom in.
And nothing there either.
This is starting to look like the kind of position where Snurd may give that back of Thieves Town time back to Talon, because there's really not a lot, and it looks like Talon is finally going to land back in Palace of Darkness. Which, at least for Talon, is an answer, but it doesn't comprise the entirety of the answer.
This is true. It's likely going to send Talon straight into Ice Palace, which is required to do, but didn't have any of the goods we need.
Just big keys to be named later.
So getting that hammer with the small key, does Talon go beat Helma?
It's possible.
You
There's
feel
not really
really
going to be a better time. Eastern is already done, so you never want to have to come back here.
Yep, and you figure at this point, when you find Hammer, you go, oh god, I bet my opponents had this for how long?
For an hour and 10 minutes or so, probably? Yeah. This is one of those where you don't even feel like you have the time to Rage Slash, you just move. And there's that heart container that would have given Talon 4 and made his life between minutes about 15 and 35 of the seed substantially easier.
Yeah, very much so. Alright, Snurd, where are you going here?
Dark Cross.
Dark Cross. Now that makes sense.
One off that was left behind, because nobody wanted a Death Warp on 8 Hearts Red Mail. But Talon had to anyway.
Alright, where are we going next?
3 or 6 would be the highest likelihoods.
Purple
3,
chest.
but yeah, we're gonna do purple chest. Okay.
And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think Big Bomb is actually in logic in this mode, because you have to get the Big Bomb in the light world and then take it to the dark world, and you can't save and quit with it. So it cannot be behind the mirror. Or it has to be behind the mirror.
You are correct, sir.
So this is looking like Meyer or Ped. Or Pelma.
The disgusting Helmasaur King check that Talon noped out on because the hammer gives you Crystal Ice Palace and 8 checks, 7 checks, depending on whether or not you've got a big key. I think we had the big key for this relatively early, right?
Yeah, we had big. Yeah, we had this big key before we had flippers.
Which, if I recall, Snurd's trip through here is going to turn out to be a good thing for Talon because that had one of the required big keys that were floating around in this dungeon.
This is going to be a Ped check, folks. Get your hype in chat for a Ped check here.
Do I have to do absolutely everything except go kill the wizard? Let's find out. There's that only potentially for the moment required Meyer Big. It is not Ped. There's the GT Big for Talon.
Yep. Well, here we go. Doing back at Thieves Town. That's going to be that time back.
Does get to do it with the boots, so we'll save a little time over Talon's clear of it.
This is very true. And Talon still will have to get back up to Spike Cave for that ice rod, too. So if that mirror gets found before the ice rod, likely that's going to be a full clear of Swamp Palace. We have not found the Thieves Town small key yet, so no one has the ability to check that Thieves Town big chest.
Pegs from Talon now as Snurd heads into the Basement of Thieves. Going to be rewarded with a sword here momentarily. Talon's still trying to put this map puzzle together.
Oh goodness. That lumberjack key could be the Thieves' big chest, which could be our mirror.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I didn't, the chat did. I just extrapolated.
And Talon is going to get the ice rod before the mirror, so that's going to work out at the very least.
Yeah, that very much puts them on similar footing, but Nerd still has... We'll see if it's the Meyer play first or the Pendant Pod play, because running out of checks. Oh, I don't think we've seen. I think we've seen Bumper Ledge, but oh, Skullbig.
Certainly faster than fishing out pendant bosses. We know it's not the answer because Talon's checked it, but it is certainly faster than going and fishing out pendant bosses.
Oh, that's right. Talon hasn't done Hera yet either without that hammer, so is going to be doing the full clear over here as well. So the question in chat, yep, there we go, is answered in chat. Oh, and Snurd hasn't checked the catfish.
And being rando in that you're not allowed to watch your opponent or really get any outside input, Snurd has to be thinking, dear God, if Talon has just hit this mirror somewhere, I could be losing any minute now. Like, I have some options, and I hate all of them. But what if Talon just decided on a lark to go to the Mire boss while in Mire, for instance?
Yeah. And Snurd is gonna go kill Helma. Oh, right. That's where that other sword was.
That's where the other sword was.
Yes, we have had a ped check, and it is just a little piece of love.
Talon going to respect the team meme. We've seen this from Snurd. It is, in fact, nothing.
I mean, at this point, is it a meme when you've got what you have available to you?
When this is all you really have left, no, it kind of isn't. But by the same token, this is one of those long, slow checks that a lot of people are willing to skip, even in situations like this where their alternatives are kind of bad. But again, it's inverted. Getting back to Tower of Hera is also kind of bad.
Yeah, agreed hard there.
It's not like a normal seed where you can just mirror there. Oh, oops, we don't have that. You'd be looping around anyway.
What's a mirror?
It's the shiny thing that an old man is supposed to give you, but we saved him and he didn't have that for us, so I'm not sure what's going on here. This may be randomized, Deep Fried.
What?
17 hammer hits and 1 silver arrow to the big green gem. Is the answer Helmsor King?
Yes, it is.
Why, yes, it is, and Talon could have had that a hot minute ago. Now, had Talon gotten that a hot minute ago, that ice rod could have been a very large sticking point for the Hera Basement Dwellers. So I'm not sure how much it would have helped in that it would have enabled an entire swamp clear.
That is go mode. Snurd on the way to swamp. And while probably doesn't feel good, probably doesn't feel the worst, given that that was in a very horrible location. Like, would have felt real bad if that was on Catfish. But Talon just getting the short end of the stick on this one.
Had some difficulties early with the low health levels that just, that's kind of a feature rather than a bug of the inverted game mode. And that kind of played out through the remainder of the seed.
That's a feature, not a bug. That's hilarious. On the bright side, gets to do the tempered kill over on Tridex.
No swapping into the menu from the hammer to one rod or the other. It's convenient. And as everybody out there in chat can see, there is nothing left that Snurd is really willing to open chests and look for. It's go time, and let's just see the boss as quickly as possible.
Yep, that has GT big in hand, has the GT smalls in hand, we're just gonna climb. And if you're gonna finish a dungeon in inverted, the swamp's a good one to finish on.
Swamp's pretty decent. Ice isn't bad either, particularly when you have the mitts.
Very true. And now Talon has all of the bad hammer checks.
Ganon's tower magically transported atop Hyrule Castle. A wizard did it, don't question.
Yeah, no, this is still technically out of logic because we've only found 5 of the 6 pod smalls, which pretty much guarantees, God, that last pod small has to be in Mire, right?
One would think. I don't know that we really have anywhere else that we can go looking. Because with that mirror also 6 key lock, it's not like you can say, oh, well, because of placement, LOL, only 5 keys and the 6th one could be in GT. No, you needed 6 all the way down.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I don't get to play this game much anymore. I don't know which modes do and do not use some of that super advanced, newfangled-ish key logic anymore.
Not many. This is not one of them. Hey, a little boost from the BMOS getting you through the door.
Talon making the eminently reasonable 2 checks rather than 1 if I'm going to be diving a dungeon play and heading from Mire.
That 6th key also just could be the one on LJL.
Also possible. A little more revenge on the worm always feels good.
Pretty sure that only counted as 1.
I think that was a 1.
That was also a 1.
Probably should have been a 2, but it wasn't a great pattern.
Yeah, that's 1, 1, 1. 3! 5 was right out.
Always has been.
So yep, AGA 1 is definitely required for the logic here, because that's got to be the last pod small. On LJL, that is disgusting.
In the grand scheme of things, for all of the things that went so horribly wrong for Talon in the early, through the kind of the early portion of the mid-game, this is actually closer than I expected it to be. Now, I say that, Talon does still have to go to Swamp, technically, and then climb the tower, and then fight the pig. It's not close in any truly objective measure, but given the multiple deaths trying to get to Laser Bridge, this is closer than I was thinking it was going to turn out.
Yeah, it's understandable. Between that and the hammer,
trying with functionally no weapon to get by a hard hat beetle that's going to take one of your 3 hearts away and then land hammer yump for a French vanilla hammer. Yeah. The early portion of this was just not nice.
And getting the GGs in chat here for Aurora Snurd. Finishing a racetime.gg of 1:55.17.
And this seed earned all of it.
And we are joined in the booth here by Aurora Snurd. GGs.
Oh, GGs, holy.
Hey, good game. That seed was a monstrosity.
I've never felt so far behind in my life. Like, shaking in GT, I'm like, I just need another minute and a half after I got to Haga. I'm like, please. I'm begging you. Yeah, it wasn't great. It was not good.
Well, the big difference in this was the early game here, and that was Halen on those 3 hearts had a little too much health that was taken away to be able to successfully missing one of the hammer yumps for that hammer made a big difference. Yeah. So you had that hammer about an hour longer than Talon did.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I had a feeling that might be like important, but I also felt like with all the keys that we had, it was not so bad, and that it was very possible that they could have gotten it first round in. But yeah, that I saw that hammer 6 locked, and I'm like, well, that's not great. And you know, from that point on, I was like, I don't know if I'm ahead or behind, but as soon as I was in go at pod, I was like, this is bad. And I'm in danger.
Yeah, this was a rough one because through process of elimination, that LJL key was your 6th pod.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
We didn't see it directly, but we literally saw everything else, so we know it has to have been there.
Where's the Thief Small? Is it in Mire?
No clue. Haven't seen it.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, I was like, where is it? That's the one I was most worried about. Because I went Thieves into pod, and I was like, if I pull that 6th key, or that small key, I'm not gonna be happy.
Theoretically, that small key could be the Thieves Small, which then leads to your pod big, pod small in. No, it couldn't because you need the hammer to get that. So no, that could be Thieves. Right. No, that's got to be the pod small.
It has to be the pod small in the way that this works out. If you've seen everything else, I wouldn't know where it is. Unless it's appended, it could be in GT at this point. So, it's possible. So it just has to be 6 locks then. That has to be the 6 pod small on LJL.
Hey Taylor, welcome in. That was
GG's.
That was a seed.
GG's Taylor.
I see the white lighting up, and I don't hear anything coming through, Talon.
Let me just turn that pesky.
There we go. There we go.
Hi there. Hello, GG's. That was a stinking mess.
GG's. Yeah, it was not good.
That's one of those inverted scenes I actually really like, is the really convoluted start. Like, here's your stupid spot. I hope you can get to it, and I usually can. But I missed that bomb jump in pod, and that really got in my head pretty bad. But what it really came down to was I was in TR and just flat ran out of magic. And instead of being smart and then going back to lava chest, wrapping around, getting the full magic, and continuing on my way, I just swore a lot and then decided to try to do dumb things, so I didn't do that. And it was like 20 minutes of futility.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of clearing of things and feeling really crappy because go was mirror for me, and I was like, I don't know where this is, and I'm not happy. I'm human.
Yeah, and I felt like I think I stumbled in right when you were talking about pod. I was like, that's got to be the 6 pod small on Lumberjack. But all I could think is, oh, that's the Thieves Town small, and that's the dumb place for it. But that's why I did pod last after Mire, because I'm like, I don't have the 6 pod small, so Mire, right? Yeah, right. Whatever, dude.
Yeah, I hear ya. I wanted to pretend Pod didn't exist. Or, like, sorry, Meyer didn't exist, because I left it way too long, and I was like, forget it, I will last locate there. And I was down to that too anyways, because I had finished, by the time I had finished Pod, Meyer's literally my last location.
Yeah, I went to Meyer first after clearing literally everything else. I'm like, all right, what boss is it on? It's got to be on one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
So, but by that point, I don't normally race with the race room open because I'm paranoid enough. And at that point, I had it open like, just finish, just finish, please. At this point, I've beaten myself up way more than the comms are going to.
I will say this, that I was looking at it and I'm like, I just need another minute and a half, please, because I know I'm so far behind. Could I have at least done something with it? Oh, I'm glad I got boots, though. I was like, finally, I got to see with boots.
Yeah, that was nice. I felt like I did that decently well. I'm like, oh, okay, it's the desert making, or the book. I guess I'll just go in and then found the small just a little bit later. I'm like, of course, and then I went right back. So at least I didn't leave that for too long. But yeah, it really was. I missed that bomb jump, which ended up being the hammer, which wouldn't have really advanced things much at the time. But I still had to go back for it. And missing the bomb jump sucked, but whatever. But yeah, that just running out of magic in TR and making really, really, really bad decisions when there was a better one of even leaving to go get a blue and coming back would have been faster than what I did. But at that point, I was convinced if I leave or if I go through lava chest, then it's time that I've just wasted. But the number of times that I kept trying to just beat my head against that wall was way, way more.
Yeah, I hear you. The Spike Cave. I think the only thing I did right was Spike Cave. Going to Spike Cave after I got Cape.
Oh, I
was
did.
Like, sweet. Okay, awesome. I got Ice Rod. Awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was running up the mountain. Yeah, I was going up the mountain to get Hera, and it's like, oh, I probably should just dive into Spike just to. Oh, cool. No, that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, this was a mess. But you know, it is what it is. It's over with.
Classic hard mode inverted seed.
Thankfully that temper showed up for me. I was like, oh, this sucks. Like, I might have to Master Sword Silver, which is fine, but not great. You know, I was glad that I got at least something out of it.
Yeah, for a while we were thinking that Talon had dove Thieves Town much earlier than you had, and we're like, if that mirror's anywhere close to convenient, you're never getting that sword. But you ended up. When Thieves became like, well, we know there's nothing there but a sword, but it became the better option to be able to do, and was just, yeah, this was just an overall mess of a seed.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I wasn't walking, I was like, I'll do Thieves Town first because, yeah, I can do that fast, and then I'll just wrap that green pendant in, turn it in, and then go into Pod after, and be upset about it when I find the mirror. Because boy, was I.
It was quite the show. Thank you both for sticking with that terrible, horrible mess of an Flukies. I really like this mode. But every once in a while it spits out seeds like that, and I do start to question ever so slightly why I like this mode so much.
You know, I was only upset at the go mode. Everything else, I was like, okay, cool, sweet. They were late, but at least I get to run places. Like, I didn't hate everything. Wasn't it just, you know, that start did suck, though. That was like I felt like I got to the final point where I was like, it's either going to be an Agaseed, or I'm going to have to go back to the mountain. And it was right. I had to go back to the mountain. And I wasn't having it. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't really know. It was a mess and almost hard last located. But you know, thankfully for me, it didn't. You know, didn't end up being too much of an issue. But I was panicking for sure. Like when that 155 point comes around, you're like, is anybody gonna dot done? Am I getting sniped? What's happening?
Yeah, especially in a seed like that where so many things were just so deep and so bad in logic. No, that makes a ton of sense feeling behind.
Yeah, but yeah, final thoughts. It was a mess, and now I gotta, you know, get myself prepped for doors. Great. Joyce.
this is the end of week 4 for your teams. Snurd, we'll start with you as the winner. More than just another alt, who do you have next week? And it sounds like maybe you're skipping out on that and prepping doors, so who are you going to make your teammates play next week?
Well, I'm gonna stay as a backup just in case, but we're playing Yaps and Apps, which is Adelor, Chloe Prower, and Trey Spire. They're gonna be tough. It's okay. It's cross keys. I think in other modes I would feel a bit better, but it's cross keys. Anything can happen. So but we've got 2 really good cross keys players on the team, and I think they got a really good shot at taking one, if not both.
All right, and Talon, next week for Hera Basement Dwellers, who do you lot have?
Hello. We have the Hovering Sick Kids. So I like cross keys, so it'll be really fun to play. It's been really a good time being able to race with Nux and Echo and kind of work on how we synergize and communicate and stuff like that. So cross keys will be a really good test for that.
Yeah, throwing in the added element of co-op to an already cracking heavy mode of cross keys definitely does test your ability to communicate in this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. I will say, and it's gonna be, if you're doing any kind of volunteering next week, we will definitely everybody will need trackers, lots of trackers, because everybody's gonna have to keep track of a lot of things. So if you're around, please feel free to help out. If not, otherwise, I appreciate everybody volunteering to do so. Deep Fried and Mind Him, thank you again for a lovely restream and lovely comms. Sure you were enjoying the messes that we were going on with it.
Yeah, Deep Fried, I guess we're supposed to put this one in the books at this point. Everybody, go ahead and give Aurora Snurd and Talon116 a follow if you haven't done so already for putting on this little inverted show for the evening. Deep Fried, I don't think we do this often enough, and we almost didn't. I almost sniped you on this sign-up by getting Gilgamesh, one of Talon's old teammates, to sign up with me, and we had a little fight in comms chat about who was actually going to get to commentate this race, and it was kind of fun. We can laugh about it after the fact.
Absolutely, and it is always fun calming with you. It's I feel like the two of us do bounce off each other well in these types of seeds. Would thoroughly enjoy doing more comms with you, and we'll see in some of the later weeks. Maybe you and I can get some of those door seeds together, because that would throw the insanity just straight out the window. But yeah, thank you to all the people watching out there on SpeedGaming. There is plenty more Zelda Randomizer action coming up here soon. We're almost through week 4 of Influ Keys and 3 more weeks of Open and Invitational League matches before we hit playoffs. So keep an eye out for a lot more rando to come.
We do have an Invitational League matchup coming up in about 20 minutes over on SpeedGaming 3, which is going to be Spearfunity, featuring the runner GFE, versus Tile Roomies, featuring the runner Plasma Kappa. That ought to be quite the interesting run. Let's see if we've got any more open coming up tonight. They're on 2 separate sheets, so I have to swap around and look. Also at the same time, on SG4, we have an Open League match. You Got Poutine on My Cheese Steak. That's going to be Pool Float running for that team versus Hovering Sick Kids, who I believe is an opponent of one of these teams next week. But tonight it's going to be Hovering Sick Kids Raids against Pool Float of You Got Poutine on My Cheesesteak over on SG4. So SG3, SG4, if you want a little more in flukies in your Friday evening or Saturday morning, that's where to go looking for it.
Yeah, and with them being on at the same times, feel free to get the multi-screen up, watching both, supporting both Invitational and Open League. We do appreciate it.
with that, I guess we go ahead and call this one a wrap. Deep Fried, thank you very much. Everybody out there in chat, thanks for spending some of your Friday or Saturday morning with us. And we hope to see you again soon. Catch a little more Link to the Past Randomizer League, but until such time, have a good one, everybody. We're signing this thing off.